Hello, everybody.
What is up?
It's Allison.
And Kevin.
And it's Friday, which means
that it's the last day of Chanukkah.
And this is going to be a shorter one because there's just not enough time in the day.
Shabbos is coming. We're so happy. We're going to scream and shout out loud.
And it's Parshat Mikeitz, which we forgot to mention.
6 days a week we wait for Shabbos.
So what are you waiting for this Shabbos?
I don't know. I don't want to leave Chanukkah. Chanukkah comes there's an idea that if there wasn't Chanukkah, Hanukkah is the first holiday since the Simchat Torah massacre. And if there wasn't Hanukkah, then what do we have next?
Tu B'Shvat?
Tu B'Shvat, but Tu B'Shvat is also a pretty minor holiday. It's mostly Israel, a little Kabbalistic, but
very Kabbalistic.
A lot of people don't know about it. And then
Purim?
Purim's another rabbinic holiday. So this idea that Hanukkah and Purim are specifically holidays we need for exile. For this post Beit HaMikdash time period, because we need more stops along the way. We need more energy to carry us through. We couldn't go all the way from Sukkot to Pesach without these holidays. So I'm trying to hold on to it.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting thing to think about. Pre-Purim Hanukkah, people really just had the Shalosh Regalim.
Right.
The three legs.
The three pilgrimages.
The three pilgrimages.
Yeah, and you could kind of think of it almost as like a first month and a seventh month, almost like hands of the clock, the 1 and the 7, and because Shavuot is really connected to Pesach, and then all of the high holidays, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, those are also before Sukkot.
Right.
So there's kind of two holiday time periods that are on the opposite ends of the year. And
I mean, it's also funny because when you think about it, you would think that just spiritually, people would need to have some sort of holiday in the wintertime, but then everything's when it's beautiful out, which I guess makes life easier for people to go ahead and celebrate and get together and make the Aliyah, but to Jerusalem. But at the same time, it's kind of need more holidays.
Right. I mean, there were things that we, didn't continue.
Right. That's what Christmas is for. And New Year's.
Christmaka.
Yeah.
The holiday bushes.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't need Hanukkah. We didn't need Purim because we have Christmas. It's great.
Yeah. Well, yesterday was pretty sad. I was in Washington Square Park, and we were doing this scavenger hunt with my team. And
this is his work, everybody.
Yeah. And
just a normal day at Flatiron Health.
With my team, there was a big Christmas tree in Washington Square Park, with the ornaments and all. And then there was a Chanukkah menorah on the side with a ring of fences around it, those police barricades.
Oh my God.
And then an additional ring of police barricades around
it. No way.
With those tiny police cars, the little smart cars with a little smart police car, NYPD guy just sitting there.
Oh my God.
On this outside ring of the second barricade. And I was like, this is so sad that there's 2 barricade rings around a menorah in Washington Square Park in New York City. And then there's just, people doing all sorts of things, and the Christmas tree there, no one's nervous about that being defaced, but
it's crazy. I mean, there's a viral video going around on Harvard campus of the Chabad rabbi that he says he was lighting the 8th night, and he was talking, I think the 8th night, I'm not sure actually, I take that back, run it back. But he was basically, before they were lighting the menorah, he was telling everybody, it's sad that this is what we've come to. After we light this menorah and we keep it lit for a little while, I have to blow it out and take down this menorah because it can't be out overnight because the school is scared that someone's going to vandalize it. So we'll actually be a safe campus and a comfortable campus when we're able to leave our menorah out.
Right.
Without worries.
Yeah. And, it's sad. Harvard, with their $51 billion endowment, they just don't have the resources to keep a menorah protected.
No, they don't. Everyone donate to Harvard.
They need the money to protect the menorahs. That's where they're at. Hashem should protect us. But I don't know, what do you think about menorahs being defaced?
I think it's messed up. That's what I think.
I think it's messed up.
It's crazy. I mean, not even that. There was a video that went out with a government official in, I think it was Poland, that straight up ran to get a fire extinguisher, walked through. Also, I think he's never used one in his life because he started pressing it long before he got to the menorah.
He was trying to make like a smoke entrance. You know when they have like the smoke screens where people like run in?
Like hype entrance.
New husband and wife for the very first time blowing out the menorah.
Yeah, so that was like a crazy video that he just like blew out the menorah after it was lit.
There's a video in San Francisco or in Oakland of a menorah, like a big Chabad menorah being thrown into the bay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. And they like graffitied it and wrote like Allahu Akbar and yeah, pretty crazy. But like, I don't know, to me, some part of that is also like a mirror of like, this is what society is.
Right. I mean,
like, yeah. It's like when Linda Sarsour said like, oh, these posters are like a trap. Like, oh, like they're trying to get you to pull them down. Like, no, we're celebrating Hanukkah. We're not trying to get them vandalized, but also like we shouldn't need to hide them and put them away.
Totally.
So it's like, I don't want them to be vandalized. I don't want any of the hostage posters to be vandalized, but I also like, people should see what people think in society.
Right.
So...
I mean, and then on the flip side, if you're talking about this idea of like disrespecting religious objects or religious spaces, the IDF put out a statement talking about, there was a video that went viral of the two IDF soldiers in a mosque in Jenin, and they sang Shema Yisrael through the loudspeaker that could ring through the mosque and through the neighborhood. And so they sang Shema Yisrael and a Chanukkah song through it. And that was like, they put out such a harsh statement of like, this is like not in line with the conduct of IDF soldiers, and there will be actions taken. And it's like, okay, someone sang a Jewish song through, I mean, they shouldn't do it. It's antagonizing people in Jenin.
I mean, it's like totally disrespecting mosques. And I'm not saying Hamas doesn't also disrespect mosques by implanting stuff in it, but like...
But I'll tell you, I think everyone kind of breathed a sigh of relief when they saw that that's what it was, as opposed to, because I saw this clip on, I think it was CNN, when the IDF put out that statement, they didn't link it to the video. And so everyone was left to their own imagination of what could have been this horrible thing that happened. And so I literally saw a commentary of someone was saying, yeah, certain things happened in Afghanistan where people were like urinating in the mosque and people were, and like singing Shema Yisrael, I think is on a completely different level than urinating in a mosque. And like, that's...
I agree. But the chief Sephardic rabbi was also like, put out a statement like, this is not...
And it's not okay?
It's not okay. And yeah, it's like, I don't know, those moderate voices on the other side are few and far between. And like the IDF, the chief rabbi, are like, this is totally antithetical to our beliefs. Like,
yeah.
Hard,
but I get it. It's like, it's so hard to be respectful in a way when literally menorahs are being thrown into rivers and graffitied on.
Right.
Like a different level of...
You perpetuate the cycle of hate and violence.
For sure. But I read something interesting while I was sitting with the candles last night, because I was looking at the candles and like, I should sit with these candles. They need someone to be sitting with them. So you bought a great book about Hanukkah, and I was like, hey, I'm going to read this. So do you know why we give gelt on Hanukkah?
So one idea, there's a bunch of ideas, but one idea that I heard from Rabbi Aryeh Leibowitz was that they used to like give tips to their teachers, like to the Torah teachers, and they would have the kids give it to them. And that and then they're like, oh, you could also take for yourself for giving this tip to your teacher.
A tip for the tip.
Yeah, a tip for the tip. Yeah, there's also another idea that like Hanukkah is maybe a holiday where you don't have to spend so much money. And there's no real requirement to have a meal. You know, you spend a little bit on some candles, some oil, but it doesn't cost that much. So we give out money. So it's like the more you invest in something, sometimes the more you get out.
I love that. So the idea that I read was, when it comes to the chiyuv, the obligation to light a menorah, someone is even obligated to sell the shirt off their back in order to go ahead and light a menorah and partake in the mitzvah. And so what would they do in order to, it would be so embarrassing to have someone have to actually sell their shirt in order to have menorah. So in order to not embarrass the people who would be able to accept donations for, so someone like, let's say, gives someone money so that they can go ahead and buy a menorah, buy candles, whatever they need for the holiday, everyone just hands out gelt. And it masks any of the chesed that's going on there, as to not embarrass. I just thought that was such a cool idea.
That is a really cool idea. There's also an idea with gelt that after the Maccabim, the Chashmonaim, Hasmoneans, the Jews defeated the Greeks, that we returned some sense of sovereignty to our land, and we minted coins. And we have coins that were discovered. I think one of the earlier ones was from 137 BCE, and that it has literally a menorah on it. And it's like we were able to kind of have our own currency again. And in Israel, they've minted coins with the Chanukkah on it, with lulav and etrog on it, which was also kind of like a symbol of war. Like the lulav is supposed to be like a sword. And that it's a sense of like returning Jewish sovereignty through having your own currency, through having the shekel, this coin that the Maccabim minted.
Yeah, and then we found our...
Yeah.
So that was just my way of transitioning to another idea. Basically, did you see the crazy finding in a dig recently, like this week in Israel?
No.
Okay, so literally...
Who's digging? I thought only Hamas is digging tunnels.
So I think it was an archaeologist that was like associated with the Ariel Institute.
Sure.
University. I'm not sure.
Whatever.
Might be misquoting. But basically there were archaeologists that were digging in Israel, and they found, what did they find in this time that was an unbelievable find? They found a sword of iron. That's what they found, a sword of iron that's like super old and super cool, and it belonged to the Judeans. And like, what an unbelievable, I saw this from Hillel Fold, what an unbelievable finding now during Hanukkah, when we need, if anything, we need this reminder of like, Hashem, you're here, revealed miracles, giving us signs. For like Hanukkah, one of the biggest miracles was that we won the war.
Yeah.
And I think now we're finding this sword of iron, which is what the operation is called, or this war is called in Israel. Like that's what they found.
Yeah, and there was the story that I saw of a child who went back to their parents' home in one of these kibbutzim, and all that was left was like a burnt menorah. And he discovered that amongst the rubble, and then he lit that in his parents' home for all 8 days. But I don't know, just as Hanukkah is concluding, like, we have these miracles, we have these signs, we have these beautiful moments, try to continue that optimism, but there wasn't that victory yet, unfortunately.
Well, the war definitely took more than 8 days.
Yeah,
a couple of years.
Yeah, no, the Hanukkah story is over the course of years, and it was, I guess that's part of Hanukkah, appreciating the miracles, even within the context of war, even when things aren't fully complete.
So we went Saturday night to Azusha and Rav Dover Pinson for bring-in, celebration, and...
The far were brought in.
What?
Far, you bring in.
Oh, far bring-in. Bring-in.
Bring the far in.
What does that actually translate to?
Bringing the far in.
Yeah, okay, tish. Even though you can't use one Yiddish word to translate another Yiddish word. But we just did it. So one of the ideas that he was talking about was this concept of gratitude during Hanukkah. And he said we don't have to be thankful for everything, but we have to be grateful in everything, right? And so like these horrible things are happening. We don't have to say like, thank God for this. But in those moments of like immense difficulty, we should exercise our gratitude muscle and find something to be grateful for. And I think that was like a really helpful perspective during like a really challenging time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's okay. I don't have to be thankful for this, even though there is this idea of gam zu l'tova, this is all for the good, but acknowledging something is good in this situation.
Right. And that's what we see from just like Parsha talk, like Yosef is thrown in the pit and then he ends up in Egypt, and like he's kind of a testament to being in jail led him to this opportunity of becoming second to the king because he was able to be put in front of Paro. And there is like a greater narrative that occurs that we hope to is revealed, and trying to look optimistically and being, not grateful for, but grateful in, and that having those Hanukkah eyes to see the opportunities that might be very hidden, but to seek out that jug of oil, to seek out that light and believe that that light can grow and that more light can be found.
You want to give one other stop for the Parsha?
Yeah.
A quick tidbit?
A quick tidbit.
Tidbit for the table.
Yeah. Next week or on Wednesday, Alison and I are flying to Israel, B'ezrat Hashem, with Eden. And
not Aliyah.
Not Aliyah, just going for
I scared a lot of people.
Really?
Everyone's like, you're going? You didn't even tell me? I'm like, yeah, I'm going, but I'm coming back. So
we'll see. We'll see. Miracles could happen.
Yeah. Mashiach now.
Mashiach now. Bring them home now. My brother is hopefully getting married in less than 2 weeks. And in this week's Parsha, Yaakov, the second time that he sends the brothers to Israel, he says, "Chu mizimra ta'aretz," take from the best of the land, take some of the things from the land. But Rabbi Nachman comments on this, that "Chu mizmiro ta'aretz," that take the zmiro, take the songs of the land. And there's many different things that can be learned from this, but I've been hearing a lot of people who have come from Israel, and they said that they've gained a lot of strength from being there. So hopefully when we go to the land, we'll be able to take back some songs from the land. People have been singing a lot of songs. That's been a big part of a lot of the rallies, the vigils, the protests, singing songs of our people, and then also songs of the land, hopefully connecting to some of the nature, picking some of the fruits of the land and taking them back and hearing the songs that they sing. There's a beautiful song called Shirat HaAsavim, the song of the grass, that Rabbi Nachman writes. So hopefully we hear those songs of our people from the land and also the songs of the nature of the land. And we could bring those back, and hopefully that revives us in some way.
Have a great Shabbos. Have a beautiful rest of Hanukkah as the clock is ticking.
Savor it.
Soak in those last couple of moments.
Bathe in the oil. Bask in it.
Ooh. I don't know about that. Internally, I've been bathing in oil.
Anoint.
So good for me.
Anoint yourself with the oil.
Okay. I can get on board with that.
Crown yourself. Yeah. Coronate.
But
okay.
No more donuts for me.
Good Shabbos. Chanukkah Sameach.